Lesson 42 is about symbols of inclusion and division in order of operations. Now when we look at these first three problems, A, B, and C, we're working with symbols of inclusion here. In this first problem we have 4 times 5. Whenever parentheses touch each other, it's always going to mean multiplication. So our answer for the first one, 4 times 5, well that must be equal to 20. The next problem we have 4 parentheses 5. This also means multiplication. When a number touches a parenthesis, always means multiply. You want to find the product. And then again, in our problem C, this time our factor 4 is not within a parenthesis, but it's touching a parenthesis, so that means to multiply. So again, 4 times 5 must be equal to 20. We have to keep this in mind as we go throughout our lesson and when we work with symbols of inclusion. Let's look at our next slide. Our first problem here is to simplify 4 plus 3 times 5 times 2 plus 2 times 15 minus 3. Now whenever we work with order of operations, we need to think about what we do first. We're going to go ahead and cut this page off a little bit, and we're going to write out order of operations. Just for a little reminder, order of operations. We've got our please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, or parentheses, exponents, multiply, and divide because they're equal in order of importance, and add and subtract. The first thing we will always do will be to do everything within parentheses, then do things with exponents, then multiply and divide, then add and subtract. Let's go ahead and look at this problem. Alright, we'll use blue today. So we're going to do everything within parentheses first. We're going to do this first, 3 times 5, and we're going to do this next because we always work from left to right, just like we read a book. So 3 times 5, that's 15. We're going to get 4 plus 15 times 2 plus 2 times 15 minus 3 must be 12. Now, we have nothing to simplify within parentheses on our second line. So then, we can move down. We have no exponents. So what we want to do is multiply next. So 15 times 2, that's 30. We've got 4 plus 30 plus 2 times 12. That's 24. We can now go ahead and add, and we're going to add from left to right. So we're going to get 4 plus 30, that's 34, plus 24. It's going to give us our final answer, 34 plus 24. Well, it's going to have to be 58. And we're all done with that problem. It's important that you work with the correct order of operations so you get that same answer. Let's move on to our next slide. Alright, our next example. What we're going to do is simplify 8 times 20 minus 3 minus 17 minus 11 plus 3 times 2 plus 5. Now if we go through this, we know we need to do everything in the parentheses first. So we're going to do 20 minus 3 to begin with. That's 17. We're going to have 8 times 17 minus, then we've got 17 minus 11, that's 6. And 6 plus 2 is equal to 8. So we're going to get 8 in parentheses times 2 plus 5. Next line, we have to do 8 times 17 first. Let's work that out on the side. We've got 17 times 8. 8 times 7 is 56. Let's carry the 5. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 5 more is 13. We get 136. So, we're going to have 136 minus, and then we have 8 times 2. That's 16. Then we're going to add 5 to that. So we have 136 minus 16, that's 120, plus 5 is equal to 125. And we've got our final answer. Remember, if we have both addition and subtraction in the same problem, they're equal in order of importance on that PEMDAS scale, add and subtract, so we work from left to right. We have to do the subtraction before we do the addition to find our answer here of 125. Our lesson practice will be on page 140. Make sure you've got your notes complete, and I'll see you during our next class.